All right, let's talk about something that sounds complicated but is so important if you're an Airbnb host and you have a teen driver. You're basically juggling two of the biggest financial risks a family can have. So the big question is that umbrella policy you bought actually going to protect you? I mean, just imagine this day from heck. A guest takes a tumble at your rental. While you're still processing that, your phone rings, and it's your kid who just had a little run-in with a very expensive car. It sounds like a movie plot, but these two separate things could absolutely demolish your standard insurance limits.
And you're probably thinking, hey, no sweat. This is exactly why I pay for that big umbrella policy. But here's the scary part. Will it really step in and pay up? Or is it just gonna shrug? The answer is not as simple as you think.
Okay, let's dive right into the heart of it because we really need to bust a huge myth about what these umbrella policies actually do. Most people see them as this magic shield that covers everything, but that's not quite how it works.
Here's the truth, plain and simple. An umbrella policy is exactly what it sounds like. It's extra coverage. It literally sits on top of your existing home and auto policies. It doesn't even wake up until those underlying policies have been completely tapped out.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. Your umbrella policy is like adding a second story to your financial house. It gives you more breathing room. But, and this is a huge but, if the foundation, your basic home and auto policies, has a crack or a giant hole in it, that second story isn't going to do a darn thing to stop the rain from flooding the ground floor.
So if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. Write it down. Umbrellas do not invent new coverage out of thin air. They just give you more of the coverage you already have. So if your home policy says, nope, we don't cover that, the umbrella is almost always going to say, nope, too. Now that we're clear on that, let's go hunting for those holes in your foundation. Because when you're an Airbnb host with a new driver, there's some very specific and potentially very expensive gaps you need to find. Here it is. This is the core of the problem. You're living with two totally different risk profiles under one roof. Your insurer sees the Airbnb as a business, but your teen driver is a massive personal risk. And these two insurance worlds, they almost never talk to each other automatically. So what do we do about it? You have to start at the bottom with the foundation. This little decision tree right here might be the most valuable 10 seconds you ever spend. You've got to get the base policy right for your specific rental situation. Are you renting out a room, a whole house, a condo? That first choice dictates everything else that gets stacked on top. Now look at this list. This is what's so wild. These exclusions flow uphill. If your regular homeowner's policy has a business pursuits exclusion, and trust me, most of them do, it's not going to cover a guest getting hurt. And because your umbrella just follows the leader, it won't cover it either. Bam, you're exposed. Okay, now let's hop over to the car. This isn't just about how well your teen drives, it's all about the paperwork. You can't just say, oh yeah, they can use the car sometimes. No, they have to be a formally listed driver on that policy, starting from the day they get their learner's permit. These little administrative details are everything. And watch out for this nasty little trap. Your umbrella policy has minimum requirements for your other policies. Let's say it demands you have $300,000 in home liability, but you only have $100,000. Well, that creates a $200,000 gap. And guess who has to pay that gap out of pocket before the umbrella even considers kicking in? Yup, you. But wait a minute, you're probably saying, what about air cover? Doesn't Airbnb protect me? Let's be crystal clear about this. Air cover is a marketing program that's ultimately designed to protect Airbnb. Your personal insurance is a legally binding contract designed to protect you and your assets. They are not the same thing, not even close. And the last landmine, it's all about names on a piece of paper. If your rental property is owned by My Cool Rental LLC, but your umbrella policy just lists your personal name, you've just created a massive gap. If the LLC gets sued, your personal policy could just say, sorry, we don't insure that company. The names have to match everywhere. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know, but here's the really good news. Every single one of these problems is fixable, and it's probably not as hard as you're imagining. So let's talk about how to build a fortress for your finances. Now, the order you do this in is non-negotiable. It's critical. You don't start by just buying a bigger umbrella. You start at the very bottom. First, you get the right base policy for your rental. Second, you clean up that auto policy. List everyone, raise the limits. Third, align all the names on the paperwork. Only then, as the very last step, do you add that umbrella on top of a solid foundation.
And what's really important to get is that these huge million-dollar gaps usually don't come from some crazy scheme. It's just simple mistakes. It's not malice, it's missed paperwork, a teen who isn't officially listed, a rental you forgot to tell your agent about. These are honest mistakes that you can and should fix right now.
All right, I want to make this so easy for you. Let's take everything we just talked about and boil it down into an action plan you can literally start in the next minute. Seriously, don't even stress about what to write to your insurance agent. We've got you. Take a screenshot of this, copy and paste it into an email right now. This simple message asks all the right questions to immediately shine a spotlight on any gaps you might have. And here are 3 more things you can do in the next 60 seconds. Go grab a marker and write Umbrella Follows Form on your insurance folder. It's a great reminder. Pull out your phone, snap a picture of your property deed, and email it to your agent asking them to make sure the names all line up. These tiny little actions can save you a world of hurt. So as we wrap this up, I want you to ask yourself this one question. Is that financial second story you built for peace of mind, that big, expensive umbrella policy, is it actually resting on a solid foundation? Or is it just kind of floating up there in the air, waiting for the first sign of trouble to come crashing down?